Migrants' crisis in Belarus reach climax as VDL grasp at straws begging UK come rescue the situation. Britain will send 140 military engineers to Poland to support its efforts to deal with the crisis at the border with Belarus, as the EU desperately attempts to stem the influx of migrants entering the bloc. The UK Ministry of Defence said it would provide the help in response to what it called irregular migration. Polish politicians have accused Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko of engineering the crisis over EU sanctions against him. The MOD said the deployment to the NATO ally was anticipated to last until April next year. Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said, "Our commitment to European security is unwavering and we will always offer support to our allies. This non-combat support will assist Polish efforts to protect their border and pass on vital engineering expertise." Mr. Wallace said in November that the government intended to send military engineers to the border. They would not be combat troops but guys with diggers. Polish and Lithuanian forces have been resisting the attempts of migrants to cross into the country, some of which have reportedly been armed and aided by Belarusians. Since October last year, the EU has imposed restrictive measures against Belarus. It did so because it failed to recognize the outcome of the 2020 presidential elections in Belarus, which included intimidation and violent repression of peaceful protests against the leader. The EU believes the elections, which saw Mr. Lukashenko restored to power for a sixth time, were neither free nor fair. Mr. Lukashenko reacted angrily to the sanctions, and the migrant situation is seen as a retaliation for the censure. The European dictator previously threatened to open borders for drugs and migrants earlier this year. Speaking in July, he said, "We will not hold anyone back. We are not their final destination after all. They are headed to enlightened, warm, cozy Europe." Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki described the situation between his country and Belarus as a new type of war in which people are used as human shields. He attributed blame for the crisis to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who he believed was masterminding it. In November, Boris Johnson's spokesperson said, with reference to Poland, "What we are seeing are the latest in a series of abhorrent attempts by the Lukashenko regime to engineer a migrant crisis to undermine Poland and others in the region. We stand in solidarity with our European partners and our commitment is to ensuring the Lukashenko regime is held accountable for its actions." The week before, NATO accused Belarus of trying to use illegal immigration as a tool to destabilize the EU. General Sir Nick Carter, Chief of the Defence Staff, told the BBC that the crisis was a classic case where you link disinformation to destabilization. Earlier, Foreign Secretary Liz Truss called on Mr. Putin to intervene to halt the shameful manufactured migrant crisis. Prague, December 8. Reuters, the Czech government on Wednesday approved the deployment of up to 150 soldiers to help Poland stop the flow of migrants seeking entry from Belarus, a crisis the European Union has accused Minsk of engineering. The plan, subject to approval by Parliament, would make the Czech Republic the third outside country to send personnel to the Poland-Belarus border, after fellow NATO members Estonia and Britain. The Polish side has asked for engineering units because it is asking for fulfilling the tasks of building and repairing border barriers. And it asked for units for monitoring the border with Belarus both in the day and at night, Czech Defence Minister Lubomír Metnar told a news conference. He said he expected Parliament may approve the deployment next week and troops could move to Poland the week after. They would not get directly involved in any contact with people trying to cross the border. The units will include one in charge of drones, Metnar said. The Czech Republic is part of the Visegrad group of Central European countries, which also includes Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. The group has taken a firm line on migration. Outgoing Prime Minister Andrej Babis pledged to keep migrants out as part of his October election campaign, while the new incoming government coalition has backed the plan to send troops to help Poland. The number of attempted crossings into Poland by migrants traveling via Belarus from the Middle East or Africa has fallen in recent days, with Poland's border guard reporting 51 attempts on Tuesday, a fraction of the highs seen in mid-November when as many as 501 people tried to cross in a day. But tensions remain, and Poland accuses Belarusian security services of helping migrants to cross the border and of provoking Polish troops, for example by throwing firecrackers. Minsk denies this. Read more. Belarus also denies EU accusations it engineered the migrant crisis in retaliation for Western sanctions imposed for human rights abuses and sanctions